Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And today, the Buffalo Bills are signing undrafted free agent Frank Gore Jr. Yes, Frank Gore's son is now in the NFL. Frank Gore, who is a legend running back, who, his best years with the San Francisco 49ers. Even spent one season with the Buffalo Bills, and that's the first thing when I saw this signing originally popped into my head was, hey, didn't Frank Gore spend one season in Buffalo? And that was a little bit at the end of his career. He was Frank Gore's Jr.'s father, five-time Pro Bowler. He's a Hall of Famer in the 2010s and was 2006 Most Improved Player. Played one season with Buffalo. He played 16 games with 8 starts. He had 600 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, and he had receiving yards. He had 100 receiving yards in the 2019 season with Buffalo. But, this was his second last season in the league. He played one more year after that, and that was with the New York Jets with 15 games and 14 starts. For a second, I was going to say he played for every team in the AFC East, but he was going on Frank Gore was going on the AFC East tour at the end of his career. He started off with the Dolphins in 2018, then he went to the Bills 2019, and then 2020 was with the Jets. Were the Patriots next? Was he going to finish off his career with the Patriots and go through the whole AFC East? That's crazy. I knew that Frank Gore played in Miami and he played in Buffalo. I think I probably knew that he played in New York. I just forgot about that, but didn't even realize he was going through the whole AFC East. But I want to get to Frank Gore Jr. Frank Gore Jr. had an outstanding 2023 season at Southern Mississippi. I really don't understand why he got drafted. If I had to tell you guys one of the reasons why he didn't get drafted, it's probably because of the team he played on, Southern Mississippi. It's not a big school that you're going to see a player get drafted to. You're going to have a really, really good season for you to potentially get drafted when you're playing for a school like that. I'm not going to say you have to be a huge school to get drafted, but I just don't see you're not going to see a lot of players or you're not going to see a lot of players or a player get drafted from a team like Southern Mississippi. Though you're going to see schools like that get attacked with the undrafted free agents. You're going to see NFL teams going after guys who are playing for schools like that, who are not as popular. You're going to see them go after those type of guys in undrafted free agency. But it doesn't change the fact that he had a really good senior season with 12 games, 231 rushing attempts, 1,131 rushing yards, and 10 rushing touchdowns. He also had 221 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. I would say this was also, not to mention, great year for Frank Gore Jr., but this was, if you consider his season before, a bad year for Frank Gore Jr. His 2022 stats, I hate to say 1,100 yards in 12 games is bad, but if you compare it to what he did the season before, maybe that might be another reason why he didn't get drafted. I'm just throwing suggestions out there just because the fact that his stats did go down quite a bit. He played 13 games in 2022, 228 rushing attempts. So he even had more. It's not like his rushing attempts went down. His rushing attempts went up by just 3. But if your yards are going to go down quite a bit, it might be because your rushing attempts are going down as well. But his rushing attempts actually went up. He had 228 in 2022, 231 in 2023. He had nearly 1,400 rushing yards, 1,382, with 9 rushing touchdowns. So his rushing touchdowns did go up 1, but his receiving yards was 247. His receiving yards was 219 and 0 touchdowns. Now I want to look at his average. Yeah, his average went down as well. That's probably another thing if you look at it potentially, Another reason why potentially, I mean, he was averaging 4.9 rushing yards per carry, which is not bad. That's good. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's good. But the season before, averaging 6.1, that does go down over 1 yard, 1.2 yards that go down. So his stats went down, his yards went down, his yards per carry went down. So, those are reasons why I could see why he didn't get drafted. But at the same time, I think he has a decent chance with the Bills now. Obviously, they have their guy, James Cook, but there were some running backs on their roster last year who are no longer on the team. Damian Harris retired due to a terrible neck injury. They have a guy like Ty Johnson, but I think there's open room in this Bills running back room. They have a guy like Derton Evans, who's a solid running back. But, this is not a strong running back room outside of James Cook. So, there is definitely a real good chance for Frank Gore Jr. to maybe potentially make some noise for this Bills team, especially with the talent he showed at Southern Mississippi. Let me know your thoughts, though, in the comment section, and peace out.